Malik Hassan, a hard-working Muslim store owner, balances family responsibilities with running his small business in a diverse shopping center where neighbors become family. When a prejudiced property manager threatens everything he's built, Malik discovers an unexpected alliance with fellow business owners that will challenge the system itself. What begins as a fight for justice transforms into a powerful lesson about redemption when the man who once sought to destroy him returns with a life-changing connection neither could have foreseen. Chapter 1. Malik Hassan's fingers trembled as he turned the key in the lock of his convenience store. The morning sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the meticulously organized shelves, a testament to 5 years of hard work and sacrifice. His prayer had just ended, the sense of peace still lingering as he prepared for another day of serving the community. The bell chimed as the door swung open. Malik turned, expecting to greet his first customer. Instead, a bulky man in a crisp suit stood there, arms crossed. "Mr. Peterson?" Malik nodded respectfully to the property manager. "What brings you here so early?" Peterson's face contorted into a scowl. "I've received complaints. People don't feel comfortable with someone like you running this place." Malik's breath caught in his throat. "Someone like me? Look, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Your kind doesn't belong here. This neighborhood has standards." Peterson gestured dismissively at Malik's kufi cap. "That religious stuff makes people nervous. Times are changing. This is my store. I have a 10-year lease," Malik said, his voice steadier than he felt. Peterson laughed, a harsh, cutting sound. "Leases can be terminated. I have connections with the city council." He dropped a manila envelope on the counter. "Eviction notice. You have 48 hours." As Peterson turned to leave, he knocked over a display of candy bars. "Clean that up," he sneered, "while you still can." The door slammed shut, leaving Malik alone with the scattered merchandise and the envelope that threatened everything he'd built. His phone buzzed, a text from his daughter Amira. "Good luck on your meeting today, Baba. Love you." Malik closed his eyes, the weight of what had just happened crashing down on him. How would he tell his family? What about his employees? And what could one man possibly do against someone with connections? He picked up the envelope, his mind racing. No, he wouldn't accept this injustice lying down. There had to be a way to fight back. Chapter 2. By closing time, Malik's head throbbed with tension. He'd consulted his lease agreement a dozen times, called 3 lawyers who couldn't see him until next week, and tried unsuccessfully to reach anyone at the building management company above Peterson. The bell chimed again. Malik glanced up, ready to inform the customer they were closing, then froze. Elena Rodriguez, owner of the Mexican restaurant next door, stood with James Chen from the electronics repair shop and Mrs. Patterson, the elderly woman who ran the bookstore across the street. "We heard what happened," Elena said, stepping forward. "Peterson's been targeting all of us, threatening rent increases if we don't comply with his neighborhood improvement plan." James nodded grimly. "He wants to push out small businesses, bring in corporate chains. Your eviction is just the beginning." Mrs. Patterson placed a weathered hand on Malik's arm. "We're not going to let him get away with it, especially not when we know the real reason he's starting with you." Malik felt something shift inside him, the isolation of the morning giving way to something stronger. "What can we do? He claims to have connections." "So do we." Elena smiled, fierce determination in her eyes. "My cousin works for the local news. James knows people at the Civil Rights Commission. And Mrs. Patterson," the elderly woman's eyes twinkled. "Let's just say I taught half the judges in this county to read when they were kids." For the first time that day, Malik felt hope flickering. "Peterson's coming back tomorrow. He wants to see me pack up." "Perfect," James said, "because we'll be ready for him." As his newfound allies left, Malik received another text from Amira. How did the meeting go? He stared at the message, then at the eviction notice. Tomorrow would determine everything, but at least now, he wasn't fighting alone. What none of them realized was that Peterson had more than just connections. He had a secret that would change everything. Chapter 3. The next morning arrived with an electric tension in the air. Malik had barely slept, his mind cycling through worst-case scenarios. Would their makeshift plan be enough against Peterson's influence? He'd spent half the night researching tenants' rights and discrimination laws, the other half in prayer. He arrived early to find Elena, James, and Mrs. Patterson already waiting outside his store, along with a surprising number of regular customers. Word had spread quickly through the tight-knit community. A young woman with a press badge, Elena's cousin Maria, stood adjusting her camera equipment. "You didn't have to come," Malik said, touched by the show of support. "Yes, we did," Mrs. Patterson replied firmly. "That's what neighbors do." Inside, they prepared. James set up his phone to record any confrontation. Elena distributed flyers detailing Peterson's history of discriminatory practices, information they'd gathered overnight from other building tenants. Maria positioned herself discreetly, ready to document whatever unfolded. At precisely 10 a.m., Peterson strode in, his confident smirk faltering at the sight of the assembled group. "What's this?" he demanded. "A pity party won't change anything. I have the legal right to discriminate," James interrupted, holding up his phone. "Is that what you're claiming as a legal right?" Peterson's face reddened. "This isn't about discrimination, it's about business." "Interesting business model," Elena said coolly. "Especially considering the emails you sent to corporate prospects." She held up printouts of messages where Peterson explicitly promised to clean out the ethnic elements from the shopping center. Mrs. Patterson stepped forward. "I've known Judge Williams since he was 7 years old. I called him this morning about your connections at the city council." Fascinating conversation. Peterson's composure cracked. He jabbed a finger toward Malik. "You have no idea who you're dealing with. I own half this town." "No, you don't," came a new voice from the doorway. All heads turned to see a woman in an impeccable suit enter, flanked by 2 men carrying briefcases. Malik recognized her instantly from news reports. Catherine Zhang, CEO of Zenith Corp, the actual owner of the building. "Miss Zhang," Peterson stammered, his face draining of color. "This is just a routine eviction, of our most profitable tenant, without corporate approval." Zhang's gaze was glacial. "While sending unauthorized communications on company letterhead?" She turned to Malik with a respectful nod. "Mr. Hassan, I apologize for this situation. I was in Singapore until yesterday and just learned about this incident." Peterson backed toward the door. "You can't just—" "I believe this belongs to you," Zhang said, handing Peterson an envelope identical to the one he'd given Malik. "Your termination effective immediately. Security will escort you to clear out your office." As Peterson was led away, protesting futilely, Zhang turned to address the gathered crowd. "Zenith Corp values our diverse business partners. Mr. Peterson's actions represent the antithesis of our corporate ethics. Mr. Hassan, if you'll permit me, I'd like to discuss how we can make this right." Maria's camera captured it all: Peterson's humiliation, Zhang's intervention, and most importantly, the community that had rallied around one of their own. The story was already trending online, with comments flooding in from across the country. But while justice seemed served, Malik couldn't shake a nagging feeling that Peterson's defeat had come too easily. The man's parting glare promised this wasn't over. Chapter 4. 3 months later, Malik's store had been transformed. The publicity from Peterson's ousting had turned the convenience store into something of a local landmark. Business was booming, not just for him, but for the entire shopping center. Zhang had made good on her promise, offering Malik and the other tenants improved leases and investing in renovations throughout the complex. The shopping center had become a model of successful multicultural business collaboration, with journalists and business students regularly visiting to learn from their example. Malik was restocking shelves when the bell chimed. He looked up to see a face he hadn't expected. Peterson, looking thinner and considerably less imposing in casual clothes rather than his former power suits. Malik tensed, but Peterson raised his hands in a placating gesture. "I'm not here to cause trouble. He paused, struggling with words that clearly didn't come easily. "I need to say something." Against his better judgment, Malik nodded toward his small office in the back. Once inside, Peterson didn't sit, just stood awkwardly, looking around at the family photos on Malik's desk. "After I got fired, no one would hire me," Peterson said finally. "My reputation was ruined. I blamed you, was consumed by it, until he pulled out his phone, showing Malik a news article. Former property manager saved by Muslim doctor. 2 weeks ago, I collapsed on the street. Heart attack. The doctor who performed emergency surgery was Dr. Amira Hassan. Peterson's voice caught. Your daughter. According to her badge, she recognized my name but treated me anyway. When I asked her why, she said her father taught her that justice means helping even those who wouldn't help you. Malik felt his throat tighten. Amira had mentioned a difficult surgery but hadn't shared the patient's name. She told me about your childhood in war-torn Syria, how you built everything from nothing after coming here as a refugee, Peterson continued. Stories I should have known before judging you. He placed an envelope on the desk. Not a legal document this time, but a handwritten letter. An apology for whatever it's worth. Peterson turned to leave, then paused. One more thing. That community center you've been trying to build? The zoning board was blocking it because of my complaints. I withdrew them this morning and testified in favor. It was approved. After Peterson left, Malik sat in silence, the letter open before him. Outside, he could hear the bustle of customers, the sound of Elena's laughter as she chatted with Mrs. Patterson, the faint music from James's shop, community sounds. His phone buzzed with a text from Amira. Peterson's follow-up appointment went well. He asked about you. Malik smiled, reaching for the framed quote on his wall, words his father had taught him long ago. The best revenge is to become a better neighbor. He stepped back into his store, the weight of the past finally lifting. This was true justice, not just winning a battle, but transforming an enemy into something closer to a friend. As evening approached, Malik locked up and walked outside, where neighborhood children played in the newly renovated courtyard. Among them was Peterson's grandson, invited to the community for the first time. The boy waved shyly, and Malik waved back. Some victories were measured not in defeat, but in change. Wow, what a story! And there is more coming. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss new stories.